My name is David Madison, the 31st of October 2020. I'm an ex-clergy atheist, and I have collected more than 400 book titles into what I call the Cure for Christianity library, in homage to Mark Twain's famous comment that the best cure for Christianity is reading the Bible. Now there are a lot more books to help with that. Please tell your Christian friends they have a lot of homework to do. They haven't noticed. Just type Cure for Christianity library into Google. These authors have stated many blunt truths, hence this series of videos, Cure for Christianity Knockout Quotes. This is quote number 32. Dan Barker is one of the most famous ex-clergy atheists in the country. One of his many books is titled God, the Most Unpleasant Character in All Fiction. If you read this book carefully, you'll see that the Bible itself destroys Christian theology. The closing paragraph of the book is this, quote, "Why does anyone believe Christ introduced a new and wonderful philosophy to the world? The name Jesus has attained an idealized status as a mythic symbol of love, gentleness, sacrifice, and goodness. I know some non-believers who think he was a great ethical thinker. But where do they find that in the Bible? Reading the New Testament itself, we see that a few of his teachings were passable, some were ambiguous, and many were appalling. Any one of us could have come up with a better system of human conduct. Jesus, after all, was identical with the Lord jealous. Morally, the Christian faith rests on sinking sand," unquote. How can that be? Christians learn as toddlers that Jesus taught wonderful things. But Christians spend far more time watching movies and sports than they do reading the Bible. If they read the Gospels very carefully, not relying on feel-good verses they hear from the pulpit, they would be shocked. I'm working on my next book, 50 Things We Wish Jesus Hadn't Said, and I read the Gospels for the umpteenth time and built an Excel table of 259 bad, inferior, mediocre Jesus sayings. All of these sayings are right there on full view in the Gospels. Barker points out that the name Jesus has attained ideal status. How did that happen? The Christian church had a long time to sell its idealized Jesus before ordinary people even had access to the Bible. It wasn't translated into the languages of the common people for about 1,500 years. But even now, the majority of Christians admit that they don't read the Bible all that much, let alone study it. If they did, they would see that Barker is right. Morally, the Christian faith rests on sinking sand. Just read the Sermon on the Mount, for example, Matthew 5 through 7, and see how much of it you don't agree with, or even say, well, what exactly does that mean? And the Sermon on the Mount is supposed to be the best moral teaching ever. We often hear believers say that without religion, without God, where would we get our morality? But I'm very suspicious about that because Christians have approved things, terrible things, based on the Bible. One big example being slavery. I far more trust secular ethicists who have been thinking about and writing about high moral standards for centuries. There's important homework to do here. Read Barker's book and read the Bible to discover the awful stuff that's in it. Neither God nor Jesus set high enough moral standards.